Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be continuing Kyle is Famous. In the last episode, we started the hot dog. Kyle is hot dog. So I'm gonna try to see what that's about a little more. Because there's a lot of options, but I felt like there wasn't a lot of options when that one go that I did. Other than that, after this episode, I am going to take a break from Kyle is Famous just because I've got so many games that I do want to play. And this one, it can get kind of repetitive, as you know. And I know that we just started the hot dog one, but, you know, well, I'll come back to it in the future. But I do want to just play some more games, some different games that I've got. But let's get into it.
Kyle read the first question on it. Yes, you are, said Kyle, trying to figure out who was talking to whom. I am... In a fit, Kyle continued to re-answer his question, trying to come up with the correct phrasing.
Yes, this is the one that I missed, because before I did Am I a mother, and then is your mother a mother and he becomes everyone. This is the one that I didn't do, and I know that there was at least 3.
Rachel spoke up.
Where I become
Kyle,
Rachel May.
I'm not a mother at all, so it doesn't really matter. Lies! Impossible! I don't believe it! Kyle banged his fist on the chair.
Okay.
Kyle, I've never been in a position for that. I've really just focused on my career. All you need to do is ask. Rachel smiled. Kyle was silent for a moment. Then, realizing he had no idea what he was doing, he decided to let Rachel talk.
Smart.
So what about your career? Do you enjoy what you do? How'd you get into it? The two continued talking for the better part of an hour, Kyle asking questions and Rachel answering accordingly.
Wow, this is like an actual interview.
Eventually, Kyle's producer signaled to Kyle that it was time to stop.
Okay.
The broadcast ended. The crew, Rachel... But Kyle continued to think about Rachel after the interview ended.
Oh.
Something about Rachel had struck Kyle. He wasn't exactly sure what. But he did know that he was interested to hear that she was single.
Oh, okay. Kyle noticed Rachel. Well, Kyle, my boyfriend Kyle, I will kill you. No. Okay, let's reset and do the hot dog one. Change dog.
Kyle thought
Change
very
dogs.
carefully about the first...
Become hot dog salesman!
Kyle laid in bed for a moment, thinking about the day.
I think I can just skip
Kyle
this because
had
we heard it in
become
the
a
last
hot
episode.
dog vendor.
Wow. It was his childhood dream. So let's get dressed. Put
Kyle decided
the
to
hot dog
take some
suit on.
time to choose the perfect
Right?
outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Or if I did something else.
Kyle decided on a fashion...
And then scavenge
Kyle
for hot
quickly
dogs?
crouched...
But I didn't find any last time. I don't
Kyle
remember
couldn't
what I
find
did
any
last
hot dogs, but instead he thought...
No!
Kyle pocketed the...
Oh, okay, I don't have to do anything with them. Let's go to the kitchen. Think about hot dogs. That didn't do anything.
Kyle
Let's
opened the fridge,
search
intending...
for hot dogs.
Kyle searched... His search turned up nothing. Kyle was...
Okay.
Kyle
Why?
opened the fridge, intending to find...
Okay, let's eat something.
In one slow, horrible movement.
Oh, I didn't
After many
realize I
gurgles, pops, and
ate the fridge. Okay. Leave apartment, I guess? I don't know. Visit marketing agency. I did that last time, didn't I?
Kyle approached it. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
I don't think this is gonna do anything.
Kyle unhinged his... Job
Just
done.
eat Gabby.
Kyle returned to the middle of the street.
Okay. Tech store. Talk about hot dogs.
Excited by his new job as a hot dog salesman, Kyle decided to share his happiness with the store clerk.
Yeah.
As Kyle opened his mouth to speak, his stomach contracted violently.
Oh.
Kyle started spewing out undigested chunks of hot dog and stomach lining.
Oh.
The hot dog Kyle had eaten earlier had multiplied in his stomach, causing a massive amount of hot dog pieces to grow inside of him.
Oh, wow.
After a couple minutes of spewing, Kyle stopped. He looked at the attendant. "Oh, you know," said Kyle, rolling his eyes and smiling. The attendant did not seem to want to respond, so Kyle decided to leave the tech store.
It's a good idea. Visit marketing agency then? Oh, it just
Kyle
never
made
mind.
his way to the street corner. After a long day of preparation, Kyle felt very ready for his first outing as a hot dog. Kyle started to unpack his things onto the corner of the street.
I think we did that last time. We didn't even...
But as he unpacked, Kyle realized he had not taken the important step of actually acquiring any hot dogs.
I think we found some in the drawer.
Kyle knew that in order to continue, he was going to need to visit somewhere close by to try to acquire hot dogs.
Orphanage!
Kyle
Why?
decided that it would be best to go find some hot dogs at the local orphanage.
Why?
To boost their monthly income, the local orphanage ran several fundraisers that gave services to the city. Kyle subscribed to one such service. Volunteers would mash the orphans' toys and dead pets together and distribute the paste from a faucet behind the orphanage.
Oh my gosh.
Residents of the city could pay a subscription fee to use the faucet for a certain period of time every day.
What?
Kyle had become a regular paste subscriber.
No!
To get cheap food, juice, or glue, depending on what he needed. Kyle walked behind the orphanage and swung open the faucet, hoping today's slurry was suitable to make hot dogs from. For a moment, nothing came out, but then, with a loud burst, the faucet started spewing out orphans.
No!
The orphans had staged an uprising and were escaping through the faucet.
Oh, okay.
Finally, free to the world, the orphans rushed forward, crushing Kyle beneath their feet. The orphans knew exactly what their plan was to be. They wasted no time putting it into action. Several orphans quickly constructed a large building. Others called their contacts in the marketing industry. Within minutes, the orphans had constructed a large hot dog restaurant.
Oh, well, hey.
Immediately, denizens of the city began flooding through its doors to buy hot dogs. It was not long before the orphans had completely taken over the local food industry.
Wow.
The reach of the hot dog shop increased. People stopped buying other food. Grocery stores closed. But the orphans were not finished. They soon expanded their business to all outlets. They monopolized insurance, retail, production, art, entertainment, and everything in between.
Those are some...
Stay Up Late with Kyle was taken off the air to be replaced with various orphan broadcasts. Soon, everything that Kyle was known for had been replaced with something orphan-related.
Okay.
Nevertheless, Kyle remained famous as the man who released the orphans and was featured in all of the orphan history books. Kyle did not sell any hot dogs.
Wow. The orphans were prepared. Let's just reset to the end of the day, because there was another option. Right?
But as Kyle knew that in order to continue,
so abandoned warehouse.
Kyle jumped into action, knowing time was of the essence. He turned around, briefly surveyed his surroundings, and entered the first door that he saw. Kyle found himself in the middle of a dilapidated warehouse that had not seen any humans for many, many years.
That's where hot dogs would be, right?
The warehouse walls were plastered with a thick layer of grime, sticky from the damp air.
You're not gonna make hot dogs out of that.
But Kyle never saw the grime. All Kyle could see were the rats.
No, not that.
Like a bristling ocean, rats covered every surface of the warehouse. Floor, ceiling, walls, and everything in between. Kyle started to grab rats with both hands and shove them into his supply pack.
No.
His pack filled quickly. Kyle continued stashing rats into every open crevice. Within minutes, his pack was jam-packed with rats. Satisfied, Kyle made his way back outside. Kyle returned to his spot on the street corner. It was around the time work let out for the evening. The street was packed with
pedestrians. He's just gonna sell rats.
Kyle began to wordlessly shove rats toward the passers-by close to him.
No!
Most avoided eye contact and steered around him. A few looked at the rat in Kyle's hand and frowned. After a few minutes of trying, Kyle became very frustrated.
Yeah.
Kyle grabbed a nearby passerby, wrenched open their mouth, and drew a rat close to shove it down their gullet. But suddenly, Kyle had a realization.
Okay.
It was not the rats that were unpleasant to his customers. No, Kyle had forgotten to create a mascot.
Of course.
Hey, you, whispered Kyle to the man gripped in his arm. You're gonna help me. Kyle took the bag of rats and dumped it over the man's head.
Oh my.
The man was buried in the rats. They clung to his arms and legs, creating a makeshift rat suit that covered every inch of his skin. Immediately, the man began to ravenously shill Kyle's hot dog stand to the public. He waved his arms up and down, yelling for anyone and everyone to come buy a treat.
Okay.
But there was a problem. The rats Kyle had intended to sell as hot dogs had already been repurposed. The crowds that had been attracted by the mascot sadly stepped away, knowing they had lost a chance at something wonderful. Eventually, Kyle and the mascot gave up. They returned to Kyle's apartment, heads hung low. Kyle and the mascot tried several times over the next few months. Before they could get their feet underneath them, however, they were written up by the FDA for extremely unhygienic marketing. The mascot was sent to jail. Kyle, being without his partner, decided to give up for good.
Oh, why was just the mascot sent to jail?
Kyle nor the mascot sold any hot dogs.
That's unfortunate.
But as
the tech store.
Kyle decided that the local tech store would probably have hot dogs.
Probably.
Kyle skipped inside, looking forward to the lovely interaction that was upon the attendant and him. The store walls were lined with electronic gadgets and apparel, important to each citizen's everyday life.
Yeah.
Kyle was amused. He loved Techno Gym. He loved the friendly store clerks. This was a comforting place for him to be.
Okay.
Kyle walked straight into the employees' break room and began rummaging around for things to take with him. Within a couple minutes, Kyle had found a healthy stash of wallets and a phone, but no hot dogs.
No hot dogs.
Kyle pushed past the circle of store clerks, shouting and pounding on his back to look inside the employee fridge. Inside, Kyle found several packed lunches, half-eaten subs, and a few bottled drinks. But no hot dogs. Kyle slid his way through the crowd of employees and law officials and walked outside. The sun was setting, creating a soft glow of orange in the sky. The birds twittered. Kyle lifted his head high and breathed in deeply. He smiled. Maybe selling hot dogs wasn't what was important. The world was lovely, shining. Kyle felt like he needed to appreciate nature.
All right.
Kyle was flattened by the SWAT helicopter that had been called to stop his tech store rampage. Kyle had been properly stopped. Job well done. The SWAT helicopter flew away. Being now completely flat and also washable, Kyle became the first reusable source of printer paper. Companies rented Kyle for days and months at a time to help increase printer-related productivity and reduce waste.
All right.
Kyle single-handedly reduced greenhouse gas production by 56%.
Wow.
Eventually, Kyle was replaced with also renewable laser-engraved mold lumps. Humanity flourished.
What? Okay. Yeah. See, like, after that, I honestly don't know what I could do. I know there's a lot, but it doesn't seem very apparent to me. And so, I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna take a break, and then sometime in the future I will do it again. Because who doesn't want to see more of Kyle being a hot dog person, seller? Because that was quite interesting. I'm happy about that. It's going to be a short one today. I'm going to end the episode here. It is fun. I really like this game. I absolutely love. Like, there's even custom stories. I didn't realize you could make your own story. Which, I don't know. I want to do this at some point and then get Kyle to play. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!